I'm seeing a lot of people that are leaving their job too early. They're going, yes, I want this business. I'm all in. I'm doing it, handing in my notice to my boss, and boom, I am out. Right, let's do this. What do I do? Now, before we go into what I think the best thing to do is, because there are so many different ways to look at this subject, right? There isn't a one answer solution, but I do have some advice for you. I want to share with you my story and why I think that, you know, me talking about this is going to give you some solid advice, because I have really been through the mill when it comes to this subject. So I started my first online business as a side hustle, right? I wanted to just bring some stability to my family. I wanted an extra income, and I wanted to reduce my hours probably, but I also just wanted to have something on the side. I really had this realization when I became a nurse. You know, it was such a struggle to get that qualification. I had 3 children during my course, right? So, you know, by the time I qualified, not only did I qualify with a distinction, but I also qualified with the resound feeling of like, thank God it's over. Yes, I'm a nurse. And then this feeling of, now what? Is this it? Is this what I am? Have I achieved all the things I'm here to achieve? I've got the job, I've got the kids, I've got the marriage, I've got the house. Now what am I striving towards? And it felt quite hollow. And so I started this business on the side for multiple reasons. One of the main reasons being to actually bring some stability to my family, because my marriage was a bit rocky, but also, you know, to have something on the side and to do something else as well, because I'm quite ambitious. And I always like to be juggling 6 things at the same time, because if I don't, I don't know who I am. So yeah, I started this online business and I went at it for about 2 years. I was importing toys from China and I was selling them on eBay and my own website. I had a Shopify store. It took me about 2 months to figure out how to put together my first website. And then I ended up on Shopify, which was so much easier. And through that whole process, I think I went through a bit of a journey of self-discovery. I realized that business was not in alignment with who I am. I was not giving me any fulfillment whatsoever. It was not exciting for me. It was not throwing up interesting conversations. It was not giving me anything purposeful or meaningful in comparison to my job as a nurse. And I decided to quit. I decided to give up on it because I was going to do something else instead. However, what was a good question, because I didn't know what else to start a business in. eBay shop or selling products was the only tangible thing at that stage that I could think of. And so I went back to the drawing board and I didn't come up with any solutions. And then eventually I found affiliate marketing. And what happened with affiliate marketing is it was a business that allowed me to potter about online, earn money, but also to do that without needing physical products, without needing to wait in for the postman, without needing to, have returns and all of the stress that comes with having massive deliveries being brought to your house and needing to pack them in the shed and having inventory and all of that. I didn't want any of that. So this affiliate marketing allowed me to have a business that was solely online, that didn't require me to do any of that stuff. And I actually really enjoyed it. And I learned a lot of skills over that time through starting my own affiliate marketing business, but also from the business that I had previously ran. I was starting to become quite skilled. I could take good photos. I could edit a video. I could build a website. I was being able to put funnels together through affiliate marketing. I was starting to build up that skill set. And so alongside the affiliate marketing, not only was I making good money in affiliate marketing, but I was also getting little side jobs like building websites for people. I edited a video for a charity. I was a social media manager for a Canadian company. I had all these little sort of side things that allowed me to replace my income as a nurse. Now, as soon as I kind of replaced my income as a nurse, I was like, do you know what? I prefer this much more than nursing. I'm just going to go for it. I was getting a lot of fulfillment from helping people with their businesses by that point, and I felt really guilty to leave nursing. That's a conversation for another day. But I did. I left. And I did it in a transition, by the way. I didn't just go, boom, I'm going to leave. I actually went on to 0 hours and I was picking up shifts. And I was picking up shifts less and less because I needed them less and less. And you've got to remember at this stage, I was in a marriage, right? So I also had his income to rely on as a backup plan. And I had the income that I was making from my shifts on the nursing wards. And I also had the income I was making from the affiliate marketing and all the little side jobs I was doing. So I ended up replacing my income from nursing and I decided to leave. Now, that wasn't the significant leaving part because I was still a nurse, I was still on the register and I could just go back at any time. I still had my 0 hours contract. My decision to leave was just me not picking up any more shifts. The real decision to leave came when I came off the nursing register, and that was a big gulp moment because that was having my nursing qualification, not my qualification, but my nursing registration taken from me and me not being able to have that backup plan. And I think the interesting part of this story is that if I had have stayed in my marriage, the rocky situation that was to come would not have happened. I would have continued to be unhappy, right? So leaving was always, the best thing I could have done because the life I live now is fantastic in comparison to how I was living before. But I left my marriage with my business income as my sole income. And when I left my marriage, I left with nothing. I wasn't allowed to stay in the house. I wasn't allowed to take my car. I literally left with black bin liners and kids. And then to start again, I lived in a caravan for 6 weeks and I just made a good sale. I had a good sale in the bank. I had 8 grand sitting in the bank, which 8 grand sounds like a lot, but it doesn't carry you very far when you need to buy a car, you need to put a deposit down on renting a new place, and you haven't got any furniture, and you haven't got like any plates or cutlery or anything that you need because the property you're moving into is unfurnished, right? And so I had to completely start again from scratch, which put me in the deficit. Now, the reason why it put me in the deficit was because I ate into all my reserves, but also the business was too young to consistently bring in the £3,000 income I needed a month to survive as a single person with 3 kids. So what happened was I started to put things on credit cards. I started to put rent on credit cards. I started to put Christmas presents and birthday presents on credit cards. Everything was going on credit cards. I got another loan out. And in and amongst this debt gathering, I did something else. I got myself a business coach. I spent a ridiculous amount of money on my business education. And I think the key thing underpinning all of this, and by the way, I had a car accident, which put me out of action for weeks as well and smashed up my laptop. But I think the key thing that came out of all of this is that I quit my job. I put all my bets on this business being successful one day. I could have gone back to nursing. I could have gone and done the return to practice course. I could have gone back and been a healthcare assistant, for instance, without having the nursing whilst I waited for my nursing to come back. I could have gone backwards, but I did something massive and I burnt the boats. And in my mind, I had burnt the boats. Going backwards felt like I was giving up on myself. Because throughout all of that, throughout leaving my ex-husband, throughout the car accident, throughout putting rent on credit cards, throughout not having enough food to feed the kids some weeks, there was something really strong, and it was self-belief. Now, there was a lot of doubt, but there was always a strong feeling of this, everything's going to be all right in the end. This is going to work out. This is going to be fine. I've just got to carry on. I've just got to carry on. I will get there. I will get there. And that's something that I want to say to you is that if you want to quit your job and you want to focus on this business, you have to be realistic in understanding the sheer number of people that fail at business is astonishingly high. And I think that the only way to fail is to quit. And if you are going to quit, then you are going to fail. And I think that the only reason why you'll quit is because you lose your self-belief. Imagine it like this. You've lost your phone and you're like, it's got to be in the house because I haven't been anywhere. So you look for it and you look for it and you look for it, right? And you can look for it all day because you know it's in the house. But the second the doubt creeps in, the second you realize that someone popped round to fix something, or you actually did go to the shop, or there becomes a gap where there's an opportunity that phone could have either got stolen or left somewhere. your motivation to keep looking for it will start to wane because the doubt will set in that actually maybe it's not here. And this is what happens in business. If you start to doubt that you can actually do this, if you start to doubt that you can actually create the success in your business that you once thought that you could, your motivation to keep going when the time gets seriously tough is going to really wane, because you need that level of motivation and that level of self-belief to stay sky high and behind you when shit hits the fan. When I left nursing, I didn't foresee that I was going to leave my husband. I was terrified to leave because I'd been with him since I was 15. I also didn't foresee that I was going to have a major car accident. And so some of these things that crop up in life take us off our feet sometimes, and we need to be able to be in a secure position because it's dangerous, right? It's dangerous to lose everything. It's dangerous to have the prospect that you could possibly end up on the streets or in a real dire situation. So this is a conversation that I'm having with you that is a serious one, is one that the first thing that we need to do, beyond looking at anything from an accounting perspective, is what is your level of self-belief? Do you have strong self-belief that could be tested in the toughest times and still come through strong? Because if you do, that is one of the main things you've got going for you right now, is that is the number one thing that will create the success that you're looking for in your life, because it will motivate you, it will push you forwards, and it will be the driving force to take you to where you're trying to get to. The second thing is we need to look at building a business from a secure place versus from an insecure place. Okay. Now there's two major differences in this. Because if you are building a business and it's a brand new business and you're looking for your first clients and it's from a place of scarcity, it's from a place of insecurity, it's from a place of shit, I really need the money, the quality of your business is not going to be as vibrant as if you were building a business that's coming from a place of service, from soul, from doing it because, you know, you really want to help people and serve people. And actually your financial situation is stable and you're not relying on the business to bring you some money in order for you to survive. They're two very different energies. And I describe this as kind of like having two buckets of ideas. And when you're in that, well, you've got two different buckets of ideas, and one of them is a very small bucket. And it's full of really shitty little ideas that don't really amount to much. And the other bucket is this huge bucket of ideas that are really awesome ideas. They're like really exciting, they're really abundant, and there's loads of them. Now, the difference between these two buckets of ideas is one of them is based on the how do I make money right now? And the other one is based on how can I help people right now? And I think that when we've got the lens on of I need money, we look over at that big bucket of really awesome ideas and they don't seem to look that great because we can't see a direct correlation to the action and the financial remuneration. Whereas that little bucket of ideas, because they're all how do I make money right now, you know, things like cold calling, things like, I don't know, putting out some kind of, you know, sales pitch. And these ideas, we cling on to them because we can see a direct correlation between doing those and having financial remuneration. And I think that when we're in that lens of how do I make money, and we've got that lens tinting everything that we can see, it tarnishes us from being able to see huge opportunities that could come up. Because the truth is, your business does not exist to earn you money. It doesn't. Your business exists to solve somebody else's problem and to support somebody else. Your business exists because it's here to solve the problem of your ideal client. And if you go out and you said, can somebody give me money? I need some money. You know, a friend might give you a £10 note once, but no one's going to give you money for the sake of it. You've got to build a business that is serving people, that is needed by people, that is creating results for people. And in doing that, money is a byproduct of the value that you're going to bring to the world, right? So if you can build a business from a place of security versus insecurity, I honestly think that you're going to have a much more profitable business. If you want to quit your job right now and you haven't earned a penny in your business and you're relying on the gambling thought, I'm going to be honest, it's a gamble that you're going to bring in $3,000 consistently every single month, starting this month on a brand new business that you haven't launched yet, and you haven't got any reserves in the bank and you're relying on that $3,000 to come in this month, otherwise you're a little bit screwed, then it's a gamble. Now, I believe that taking a bet on yourself is the safest bet you'll ever make, because you're the one that's in control of your results. You're the one that's in control of it all. But if you do it from a place of panic, and if you do it from a place of scarcity and, really desperately needing the money, it's going to be a lot harder for you to create that goal, for you to achieve that goal, because of what I just said about those buckets of ideas. Your perception is going to be frosty, and you're not going to be able to see the incredible opportunities for what they are. You're just going to look for the quick win solutions. And there aren't really any shortcuts. There are quick win strategies, but there aren't shortcuts for creating a sustainable longevity business. There are things that we need to put in place that take some time. There are business systems that we need to put into place. We need to build an audience. We need to build trust with people. We need to gain a reputation. And all of this takes time, right? It doesn't happen overnight. So you've got to give yourself the grace and the space to be able to build that. Now, we have a 90-day program, for instance, that is designed to get you up and running and getting you your first clients in just 90 days. And it works. We have people doing that, but that's 90 days, right? That's 3 months. So if you're quitting your job before that 90 days begins, in the premise that you believe that you're going to get clients coming in month 1, if you've got this super strong belief inside yourself and you can do that, then take a bet on yourself if that's the thing that you think you should do. But be warned that building a business from a place of scarcity when your back's against the wall and you're in a place of panic is really, really hard work. Really hard work, because the results are harder to gain when you don't have the experience you need. But I hear you, right? You want to quit this job because it's sucking the life out of you, and this business that you want to run is going to bring you so much more happiness, so much more fulfillment. You're going to have control over your own life. It's going to change the game. It creates a load of light at the end of a tunnel that wasn't previously there until you had this idea for a business, and you want to get there, and you want to get there now. You want to get there as soon as possible, and you don't want to wait. And I understand. I was exactly the same. I really was. So let's put a plan into action. Because let's not be hasty and crazy and just go hand in your notice before you've got a plan. Let's figure some stuff out. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to write down what are all your basic living expenses. Don't put things in there like haircuts and nails and, getting Botox done, or like going to the spa or having weekly massages. Basic living costs. All of that will come. Okay? But we just need your basic living costs. Rent, food, council tax, money for the car. What is it that you need in order to be able to live? I want you to write down all those expenses, and I want you to figure out what they are on a monthly basis. Now look to your savings or look to any assets that you've got and see how many months of reserves you have. Are you currently paycheck to paycheck, or have you been saving? And are you prepared to put all of that saving into a future that you are capable of achieving? Because I reckon that you just need 3 to 6 months of reserves. My accountant would say 6 months, have 6 months in the bank. Okay. But if we're trying to desperately get out of the situation and you've got a real high level of self-belief and you feel like 3 months is enough to start getting results, then 3 months is fine. Like when we launched Rebellious Business, we did a 20-something grand launch, 22 grand launch within 3 months of starting. It's possible to create epic results quickly, but you need to have the strategy and the know-how in place. So, that's, if you want to have a conversation with us about how you could do the same with yourself, then, we have programs and training and support in place to help you do that. Anyway, have a look at what your expenses are, and then you're going to need to think about what your business expenses are. Now, the beauty is with an online service-based business, your expenses are going to be fairly low. You are going to need to do a lot of hustle at the start in your business. So, you're going to be the CEO and the sales guy and the marketing person and delivering the service that your program or your product or your, package is. So, but understand that that's not what you're going to be doing in 2 years' time, okay? The CEO of the business is not in the DM inbox on Instagram every day. The CEO of the business is not necessarily creating the Instagram posts. So the stuff we're doing at the start is not the stuff we're doing at the end. So understand that this is temporary, one-man band, startup business situation that will change. But for now, it's going to require that you're kind of one-man band into this and putting all into it for now, okay? The second thing is with your business expenses, I want you to factor in the most important things, which are hosting pages and email marketing software. And you don't need to go crazy with needing a professional camera like the one I'm using now. For a long time, I just used my phone. I just used the camera on the laptop. You don't need to have like all of this really expensive gear. You don't need a green screen. You don't need like the latest MacBook. You just need the bare minimum to get you started so that you can start creating video content. The camera on your phone is enough. The camera on your MacBook is enough, right? It's all good. It's all good at the moment. You're going to build on that as you start to create assets in your business. So just have a look at what those bare minimum costs are and figure out what kind of lump sum a 3 to 6 month reserve would be. Now, you could go and get a loan, right? But you've also got to factor in paying that loan back every month into those monthly costs. So if you were to get like a 10, 20 grand loan, you expect that you're going to be paying between 300 and 600 per month to pay that off. Okay. So that is another option. But the other thing that you need to factor in is like, how are you doing this? Like, what is your strategy? What is your plan of action? Okay. So let's say that you've got 3 to 6 months reserve in the bank and you want to quit your job. Then you're going for it. My advice to you is to work alongside a business coach that can help you get there faster. Okay. So, I mean, if you want to have a chat with us, for instance, if you resonate with us, we're always available for you to jump on a call and have a chat with us and see what that would look like, which one of our programs would suit you better. We've got various ways of supporting you, from ways that aren't too expensive, ways that working with me one-to-one, for instance. There's various options. So if that's a conversation you want to have, then awesome. The other option available to you is to build your business alongside your alongside your job. Now, this is probably the safest way to do this, because then you can rely on that stable monthly income coming in from your employer as you build up your business, but be in the mindset of saving as much as you can. Okay. I think that when we're at the start of business journey, it's like batten down the hatches, everything, like throw everything in, I stopped watching television. I stopped spending hours cooking. I used to spend hours in the kitchen making like 3-course dinners for people, for friends and family, and, for my husband. And I stopped doing that. I was like, I need every spare minute I can, because the reality is when I started running my business, I was working 13-hour shifts on the ward. I had 3 children at home. I had a house to run, and I was running a business alongside. So if there's anyone that understands the juggle of time and like things that need to be done, it's me. Like, I get it. I understand. I really, really do. And again, we've got systems and things that we recommend you putting into place so that you can really manage your time well, if that's the situation that you're in. Because, there's only so much time, and we need to make sure that we're getting the most out of that time. Okay. So that is another option, is that you build a business alongside your job. Now, what you need to be mindful of is that there are some jobs that get really shitty about you having a business. So you need to make sure that your job is that your boss is cool with it and it's not going to cause you any trouble at work. If it is going to cause you trouble at work, is there any way that you could get another job? Or is there any way that you can, have a conversation with your boss and say, look, this is what I want out of my life? Because I honestly think that any boss should be supportive. And if they're not, I would stop working for them, to be fair. The way that I look after my team is that if we train them up and they decide they want their own business, like, awesome. If they decide they want to go and do something else, or they've got this aspiration and we've supported them to get there, that's fantastic. Obviously I'll be gutted if any of our team left, because I absolutely adore them. But I don't want to be that employer that holds people in spaces that they're not happy in and doesn't let them leave or makes them creating change in their life harder, because this is life. Like, this is somebody's life. This is a human being's life, and I want them to have the life that they want to have. I don't want to force people to be in unhappy situations. So I would be thinking about the integrity of the place that you work for, if that's the case. But unfortunately, there's a lot of places that are a little bit shitty. I hear about too many of these stories. So if you can build this business alongside your job, you probably need to spend the weekend on it. You probably need to work evenings to fit it all in. And then you've got to think about, when I've got clients, when am I going to have calls with those clients? When am I going to have my sales calls? And you need to map out and manage your diary and manage your time so that you can factor all of this in. And it's going to be tiring. So you're going to need to look after yourself. You're going to need to make sure that you get some exercise, that you eat well, that you pamper yourself from time to time, that you get enough sleep. That self-care is going to be more important than it's ever been before. The other thing is that if you have a job where you can start to reduce your hours, or you could go to part-time, let's say you've got 3 months of full-time income in the bank of reserves, right? And you're able to reduce your hours to part-time, so you've still got some consistent income coming in. And then you've got 3 days a week to build your business, or 2 days a week plus the weekend to build your business. That is a result. Like, that is awesome. That's what I did when I was leaving nursing. I just reduced it down to a couple of days a week, or 1 day a week. And yeah, it was awesome. So what could you do in terms of 0 hours contracts? The reality is, you don't want this job forever anyway. It's just supporting you until your business takes off. Could you reduce your hours and do something that way? So look, wherever you are right now, whatever point you're at in starting your online business, I do hope that this has been helpful for you. Don't just blindly throw everything in and go, I've decided I'm going to start a business, I'm quitting my job, I'm going for it. And the reality is that next month you haven't got the rent, or you haven't got the mortgage payment, and you're just hoping to God that you can pull this out the bag, but you've got no marketing experience and this is all very new to you. Like, you're stressing me out, guys. You're stressing me out. Like, create security for yourself. Be clever about this. Try and use some of the strategies that I've told you about just now, with, mapping out your time, with figuring out how much money you need, creating some security for yourself. And I know that for some of you, all of this sounds really obvious, but there are a few people that I have seen lately that have just gone, I've quit my job, I'm all in on this. And they've got no experience in marketing. They've got no experience in making sales or, getting results in a business. And it's literally a gamble if you haven't got the reserves in the bank. So figure out what it is that you need. And I know that you're hungry. I know that you're hungry for it. I remember how hungry I was for it. I'm as hungry today as I was for it then. Like, I get it. But if you've got to work at your job for another year, that's fine. At least you now have a get out plan that you are actively working on and working towards. And that is more than you've ever had before. So that is freaking awesome.